Thank you so much for joining us today on Prime Time. My name is Timila Yeni. Today's interview is going to be broadband. We're going to cut across politics, career, youth inclusive in governance. My guest on the show today is no other person, Adeni Ismail Oluwatosin. Thank you so
Thank you.
much for joining me
You're
this
most
morning.
welcome.
Let's start on a very soft note.
Okay.
Run us through your early life and how do you start your career as an entrepreneur in agriculture?
Mm. At the beginning of my career, of my life, I didn't plan to be an agriculturist. It was something I didn't even know I found myself in. But basically, I give glory to Almighty that I chose this path, and it's ended well for me, and I'm still growing. And I hope many more years to come, I'll be able to. We're planning on training youth in the broad way on how to invest in agriculture, because most youth of nowadays, especially the Gen Zs, sees agriculture as something of the old, like it's not what they want to do. But I can bet with you that's where the world revolves around, and sooner or later the world's coming back to agriculture. So yeah, at the beginning of my life, I always want to be a doctor. Yeah, I remember growing up, when anybody asked, "What do you want to be?" I said, "I want to be a doctor. I want to be a surgeon," and all of that. So that was I can't remember what particular year, but I was in year three, studying medicine out there, and I was threatened. One evening, I came back from night class, and I met these guys in the house, and they're looking so scary and all of that with guns and axes and all of that. So I was shocked. I was young, I was small, and finding out who they were big guys. In school, then we call them big guys, but they were cultists. So threatened me, took all my things, clothes, shoes, money, my PlayStation, and my laptop. And they threatened that they were going to come around to pick me the following weekend to initiate me. I was scared to death. So it was at that night. I couldn't sleep. Around 4 a.m. in the morning, I ran away from school. I didn't tell my parents, I didn't tell my brother, I didn't tell anybody. So I went to Ilorin. I went back to Ilorin because obviously my mom was in Ilorin. So I went back to Ilorin, stay in a friend's house, trying to squat from one place to another. The phone to me, lodging, apartment, an hotel, trying to figure out what is next for me in life, because I don't know how to tell them at home. And given that these people threatened they were going to kill me if I tell anyone, I was young, I was naive, I don't know
How old are you
anything.
that time?
I was about 21.
Okay.
So I don't even know what to do. So obviously I met a guy. He's no longer in the country now. He has relocated abroad. So I was like, oh, say, look, guy, uh, you've got to start all over. Now look at him. He had issues in Babok too, and he came to learn to find a greener pasture and all of that. He doesn't even know what to do with his life. He was just living. I think he was raised with a silver spoon, so he was just living, and said, okay, how about we opt for remedial? That's what we copied the green out there in the learning and see
Okay.
what's up. So I collected money from my mom for the next section, following section, and other lines, and we put in for remedials to God be the glory against admission into university learning under science, and that was it. So on my final year, I was discussing with my mom, and they're like, "How you going to marry school? Like you ought to have been done with school." I was like, Mom, there's something I want to tell you. So I had to call my brothers, everybody, and say, look, this was what happened. They were all furious, angry, sad, but then there's nothing they could have done after 4 years. So, and that was it. After school, okay, in my 300 again, I said to myself, look, I don't want to work for anybody. Like, working for people is like me enslaving my life, because I'm someone who likes to work at my pace. When I was in school, I'm not one who rushed to school very early. I'm not one who goes to school every day. I like to go to school when I have the energy and I choose to go to school. So then I wanted a career that would be very flexible enough. And also, I'm a family oriented person. So I like to be with my wife, my children, spend quality time with them. I want my children to know me, see me and say, oh, because growing up, my father was a busy person, he was a military personnel, he had no time for children. So, I miss that, and I don't want my children to experience that. So I said to myself, I wanted to be there for my family, whatever it is, whatever career I'm choosing, whatever part it is, it has to be one that will be very flexible enough to be able to take care of my family. So I don't mind if my wife is a white collar job or does a white collar job. I don't know, but mine is I just want to be available for them. So then a friend, not a friend, someone you know what they call bed of passage. People you just meet and greet. So was discussing about fish pond with me. I couldn't trust him so much, so I said, okay, let's give it a shot. So I invested 600,000 then because
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that was in 2006, 2007. So I invested 600,000. Scary. People were asking where to get the money from, But then, you know, I'm one who likes to. My mom, I'm the last one with my mom. So obviously, whatever I want, she has, she gives. Just try so hard to meet my desire and want. So I was able to gather that money, knowing fully that after that, if I is either I make or I mark. At that point, either I make or I break. So, but I just to give it a try. So I don't even know where the farm is. We purchased the land, we dug the pond, we stocked the pond, and give it. I gave money for about 2 months of feeds and all of that. I didn't even know where the pond is. Trusting the guy and everything. So one morning, I was in my house and someone called and said, "Hello, good afternoon. Are you Mr. Adini Ismail Oluwatos?" I said, "Yes, that's me." I was scared. Like, what happened? He said, "Oh, are you the owner of the ponds at so place?" It visualized name of the place in my lorry. I said, "Yeah, I know. I'm the owner." He said, ha, "I'm sorry to say, it since you didn't work for your money. This is not how to do business. If you work for your money, you won't abandon your pond. That the fish in the pond are almost dead. Like it was just like mud." I said, "No, can't be true because I give money to the guy to get fuel to pump water to recycle the water in the pond." So the day before, so I was like, "No, okay." Immediately, I jumped the car and drove to the pond. Then, lo and behold, I met everything messy. I was sad. At that point, I doing what we could do to save the little fish left in the pond. So at that point, I just realized the man has said, "Look, if you want to do this, you have to do like a full-time job. You don't trust anybody with your investment." So at that point, I said, "Okay, what do you call it, is that I own my land. It's not like I rented my pond and all that. So it's okay." So that is the only consolation for me at that point.
Let me quickly cut in there.
Yeah.
We all know career gestation period is always challenging. That's why you rightly say. How did you overcome all of these challenges?
Oh wow, I was gonna get there.
Okay.
So at that point, my advice that I said, "Look, you want to do this, you have to give in your whole time and all of that." So I started, like, I didn't even know anything about it then. I went online, started reading, watching videos on YouTube. Then I started going to the farm every day, like every day. And after, when the harvest time came, we were unable to even make the capital. But then it was fun for me when I saw the average fish I had then was 4.5 kg. So it was thrilling that, okay, this is me, do this by myself and all of that. So that was it. Then I give my all into it. So my friends would be like, like they mock me, like a mockery statement. I don't give a shit about them. Then I was just focused and I wanted that to work. And the year runs out, we had another pond, then we added more, about 6 in 3 years, and then I thought of diversifying into beds. And okay, plantation is something that is less risky. If you go into plantation, there's not much risk than it won't grow. Maybe if there's no rain, enough rain, and all of that. So, and that was it. To the glory of God, that's how we're here.
Okay, you're now a politician now. Run us through quickly. What would be your assessment about the national government, that's federal government, on agriculture? You know, talking about considering the fact that there is a hunger in the land and there is a need for us to dig well as far as agriculture is concerned. What will your assessment be about this current government?
First of all, I would like to call attention to something, that this doesn't start today. It's been like this, and when you look at experts, they've been saying, if you are familiar with agriculture industry, experts have been calling attention of the past government to this. We're gonna get here, but now we're here. The reality is here. So now, I believe very well that the president is doing so well, and he has a lot of. If you check his manifesto, there's a renewed hope agricultural scheme in the manifesto, and he's living his talk, his campaign.
I think they are doing enough.
Yeah, well, I won't say they are doing enough, but they're trying their best to roll out a lot of policies to relieve the masses. But then I'm also advise you to go back into farm. In your house, you have a garden.
No.
Oh, you should. Start from there. Veggies, tomatoes, corn. Start from there.
Okay, away from the career talk, you're now a politician. What's your concept about politics and leadership, most
Mm,
especially in the reality of Nigeria today?
well, it's a bit hard for me to answer that directly, given that I'm here for myself here now. And no matter what I said, you will think, oh, he's a politician. What you're spelling to say, but it's okay. Um, well, when you're talking about leadership, I don't know what other politicians' perspective towards leadership is. But for me, leadership is giving your whole, then working with people. You can't actually, when you're talking about leadership, an individual can't be a leader. The leader must be one who listen, who gather other leaders around themselves. But some people see them as workers. I don't see my workers as my workers. I see them as other leaders that are around me that are helping me to be a better person. So indirectly, it's not just me. When you're talking about leadership, leadership doesn't have to be, to me, my own perspective on leadership is not an individual like, oh, me, I'm a leader. But what makes a leader is when you have other leaders around you, you have a listening here, you feel people's pain, you put yourself in people's shoes, and you're concerned about people's life, the people around you, people in your environment, starting from your home, your area, community, then the local government, the state, and the country as a whole. So you put yourself in people's shoes, you think about what people are going through, think about how they live their life on a daily basis, and what impact the little you can do. It starts from you listening to people's what's it called, vent, and you want to render help, even if it is just little advice.
All right, you practice your politics in Osun State. It is a fair criticism if people say the Osun State civil servant don't want your party or don't like your party anymore, considering how this current administration has been treating them and how your party APC has treated them in the last, when you are in power, probably in the last 2 years.
Okay, so I don't understand. How has the government, my party, treated the masses?
Okay, let me reframe my question. Is it a fair criticism
Mhm.
if Osun State civil servants say they don't like your party, considering the way your party treated them during Rauf Bashola's regime and fast forward to Boyega Oyitola's regime?
Well, I'm not surprised, but I'll tell you it's not fair. That's a very myopic criticism.
Hmm.
To start with, civil servants from the federal level to
Hmm.
local government level
Hmm.
are the enemies of this country. And the enemies of the country in aspect that they no policies they want to stay. All what they want is whatever policies that can give them cash that they can't get liquid from is not policy for them.
Hmm.
To start with, talking about my part in the last 2 years, man,
Administration.
last administration,
Hmm.
talking about my party. To start with, it's a known fact that in the whole of Osun, my party was the first party to save a whole lot and pay a lot of debt, and also work on infrastructures. You would agree with me on that. And the last administration never hold any civil servant.
But the previous one before the last one, which happens to be your party.
Before that administration, who
Hmm.
was in the government? What party was in government?
APC.
Before that administration, before 2010 administration.
PDB.
Okay, so how can you tell me how they were able to manage the economy of the state from 2004 to 2003, 2007, 7 to 2010 or 11? How were they were busy mismanaging the funds of the state, given that this is a civil service state, no infrastructure, no good roads, no water, no electricity, and all of that. But my party came on board to turn all of that during the administration before the last regime. The roads in Oshobo became better. The royal fathers were getting their 2% on the studies. In the industries were coming into investing, and other individual businesses were thriving during my party.
If social critics will say,
Mhm.
they will say that administration does not hold the civil servant in the state.
Like I said, civil servants can never be sincere. They don't care about infrastructure. They don't care about the growth of the community, of the country, and the state. All they care about is whatever policies that will give them money, that they will take home. All they want is what they eat now. Civil servants are like mouth. When you're hungry, your mouth want to chew. after chewing and you're filled up, your stomach is filled up. When next you're hungry, you won't remember you had a delicious meal earlier. So your mouth still crave for something.
Oliver Twist.
Exactly.
All
Thank
right.
you.
If you have a privilege to meet Governor Ademola Adeleke today, what will you tell him? And what area will you tell him to improve in his administration?
Oh well, I wouldn't advise him to on any area as a governor because it's not fit to be a governor. It's not fit to be a governor.
Mm.
So you, me and you and me knows that Ademola Adeleke doesn't represent Osun's best. Aside that, he's a good person. So I think he should go back to music industry and promote his cousins and all of that.
All right. Let's focus on the youth inclusiveness in Osun State. Some people will say this government has done extremely well in terms of youth inclusion. Talking about the House of Assembly, the 50% of Assembly are now, below 40. Chairman of Local Government Commission, below 40. OSBC chairman, below 40. SCs, SSCs, virtually youth. Does this align with your ideology as far as...
Yeah, my personal ideology, that's cool. It's a good one, and I really commend whomever advised the governor to follow that step because I'm very sure the governor can, on his own time, he can't think of that. But then it's a good one because yeah, you agree with me that right now, right here today, youths are here to take over, and the earlier the better. The previous president was about 35 or thereabout when he became the head of state. Go on in 1967 was about 29 or thereabout as well. So these people started so young, and they did well to their best of capability and knowledge. So I think we, the youths of today, knows better because we are more exposed, we are more educated, and I think we know better about governance. So I'm going to urge any party, irrespective of political party, whomever is going to be the next governor, which I am very sure is my party, that they should give more opportunity to the younger ones because we are here. The old bandwagons are outdated. Yeah, we appreciate what they've done, we appreciate their ideology, their advice is so much still needed. We don't need them to leave the stage, but we need them at the backstage.
Now, some people will say that youth has not proven themselves right in that assertion. Reason being, for instance, Bosu Jani, the Minister for Communication, has given a very tremendous opportunity for him to showcase how youth are versatile in this country. But it seems like he's disappointed right now. What do you say to that?
I don't understand what you mean by disappointed.
He's underperforming.
No,
It's
he's
part
not.
of, it's part of the,
No.
listen, it's part of the minister listed in so many media reports that it's underperforming. How do you say
Media reports
Yeah.
is not a yardstick for you to condemn any minister.
it was a yardstick?
It wasn't. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be a yardstick. That's what the best yardstick is when you move closer to the ministry and know what they are doing there.
But the same-
This is a country This is a country where people believe in quick money. Youth believe in quick money. I won't let me blame the youth. I'm going to blame the old bandwagons, like I said. The way they have been treating the youth in the past years, has made them not to understand that they have more than what they are offering. So currently, Bosun Tijani is training a lot of youth in IT, in electrical hacking, and all of that. So you've got to wait. It's just 2 years now. You've got to wait for the result of that. So after that, you'll see.
Okay. What would be your advice? What would be your advice to Nigerian youth who also aspire to be an entrepreneurial or technological expert in the country? Being an expert in the field.
First of all, I'm going to advise Nigerian youth aspiring to be a politician to please have a business, have something doing before they jump into politics. Because for me, politics shouldn't be a means of making wealth. Politics is you giving back to the country, to the society, upholding the honor of your country, trying to give your to the growth of the nation, which is expected of anybody. So I'm going to really call Nigerian youths to go more into entrepreneurship because it's way to go, especially agriculture. Yeah.
All right. What should we be expecting from AIO soon?
Oh wow, AIO is that's something that a word can actually say, because first of all, I believe in building leaders, and I'm sure in the next couple of years, it's going to be tough. But then I believe we're going to get there. When we get there, we are going to change the
The
way things,
paradigms.
yes,
Yeah. Thank you very much,
you're most
Honorable
welcome.
Adini
Thank you.
Ismail Olatosin. It's a wrap on the show today. My name is Oini Timley. Join us next week, Sunday, for another episode. Thank you. Bye bye.